Let's do a quick recap of each fight for UFC Fight Night Ribas vs Namajunas. I'll also review my predictions for each fight, which I make for every event on this channel. Please like and subscribe if you find this interesting, informative, or entertaining, as it'll help keep me motivated and continuing to create content for you all. Plus, you get all picks and analysis right here. So let's jump right in. We ended the night 10 out of 13 fights, which is a 77% accuracy. For the previous 10 events, we're averaging 67%. All-time, we're averaging 68%. All-time pay-per-views, we're averaging 71%. And all-time fight nights, we're averaging 66%. Alright, for the first fight, we had Michael Parkin versus Mohammed Usman. The fight began with both fighters wary of each other's power, cautiously exchanging jabs and leg kicks without a touch of gloves. Parkin successfully employed leg kicks throughout the match, which gradually hampered Usman's mobility and allowed Parkin to control the pace. Although Usman landed some solid punches, including a Superman punch, and reopened a cut on Parkin's eyebrow, Parkin's consistent leg attacks and evasive movements just kept him ahead of the fight. By the third round, Usman's attempts were met with Parkin's effective counters and leg kicks. Despite the close exchanges, Parkin's strategy of leg kicks, head movement, and counter-striking secured him the unanimous decision victory. I had calculated a 59% probability for Parkin to win, and although this was a bit of a slow fight, he did get the job done. In the next fight, we had Lima versus Igor de Silva. This was an interesting one. The first round was a lively exchange of strikes and submission attempts, with Lima managing to threaten de Silva with a guillotine and an omoplata submission. Despite being warned for fence grabs and illegal strikes, Lima controlled much of the grappling and struck effectively. The second round continued with intense brawling and saw both fighters landing significant strikes. Amidst the chaos, Lima claimed de Silva bit him, showing visible bite marks that broke the skin. The referee paused the fight to consult replay officials, and the bite was confirmed. Consequently, de Silva was disqualified for the foul, giving Lima the victory by disqualification and marking a dramatic and controversial end to de Silva's previously undefeated record. I honestly can't believe de Silva would stoop that low. Lima got a bite bonus and even got the bite mark tattooed. Only in MMA would that happen. That's hilarious. But it gets even better. Dana White then decides to give him another bonus just for getting the tattoo. Talk about a golden moment. I had calculated a 58% probability for Lima to win, and although it wasn't at all how any of us could have imagined it, he did get the W, and that's what matters. In the next fight, we had Montserrat Rendon versus Dariya Zheleznyakova. In the first round, it was a mix of Zheleznyakova striking and Rendon's grappling, with Rendon managing to take Zheleznyakova down in attempting submissions, but the Russian's control in the stand-up exchanges earned her the round. The second round saw Rendon finding her range, landing powerful punches that opened a cut on Zheleznyakova nose and scoring a takedown, tilting the round in her favor. In the final round, both fighters traded blows, with Zheleznyakova landing more effectively and fending off Rendon's takedown attempts. Despite a competitive bout, Zhelezniakova's consistent striking earned her the unanimous decision victory. I had calculated a 59% probability for Zheleznyakova to win, and although she was a bit underwhelming in this fight, she did get the job done. In the next fight, we had Jarno Errens versus Nguyen. From the beginning of the fight, Errens demonstrated resilience and aggressive striking, effectively using leg kicks, jabs, and combinations to maintain pressure and damage Nguyen. Despite Nguyen's spirited efforts to use his jab and low kicks to mark Errens, he could not match Errens' pace and power. Throughout the fight, Errens adeptly managed the distance, landing the more significant strikes, and even though Nguyen displayed toughness and recovery, Errens' strategy led to dominant rounds. The victory marked Errens' determination and skill in this third UFC fight, showcasing his ability to control the fight and execute a well-rounded striking game. I had calculated a 63% probability for Nguyen to win, and although he did make a good effort and this was a fun fight, Errens really showed up and just took the win. In the next fight, we had Cody Gibson versus Miles Johns. Throughout the fight, Johns demonstrated superior striking and grappling, managing to land significant uppercuts, powerful right hands, and secure crucial takedowns against Gibson. Despite Gibson's resilience in moments of offensive pressure, including successful takedowns and attempts at submissions and reversals, Johns' control and striking accuracy, particularly with his uppercuts and right hands, dictated the pace of the fight. Gibson showed tenacity, recovering from heavy shots to continue pressing the action, but Johns' ability to effectively counter Gibson's aggression and maintain top control during grappling exchanges solidified his dominance. The fight concluded with Johns maintaining control, landing clean shots, and securing a takedown to seal his unanimous decision win, marking a successful outing against the struggling Gibson in a fight filled with personal stakes for both fighters. I had calculated a 60% probability for Johns to win, and he did not disappoint. In the next fight, we had Julian Erosa versus Ricardo Ramos. The fight began with both fighters exchanging strikes, with Ramos landing a significant jab and body kick, signaling his intent early on. Ramos continued his assault with a series of powerful strikes, including a right hand that momentarily stunned Erosa, followed by a knee as Erosa rose up, demonstrating his striking ability. Despite Ramos' aggressive approach and his attempt to dominate by taking Erosa down to the center of the cage, Erosa quickly adapted, utilizing his back to launch attacks and eventually securing full guard. The turning point came when Erosa executed a perfectly timed guillotine choke as Ramos attempted to power through with another takedown. Caught off guard by the tightness and precision of the choke, Ramos was forced to tap out, giving Erosa a remarkable comeback win. This victory not only showcased Erosa's resilience and submission skills, but also added a spectacular finish to his highlight reel, proving his tenacity and skill set against a formidable opponent like Ramos. I had calculated a 62% probability for Ramos to win, and he was doing really well early on, but then he freaked out and Erosa caught him with the guillotine. He could have thrown strikes aiming at Erosa's head, but he tapped out. In the next fight, we had Holobaugh versus Trey Ogden. From the outset, Ogden utilized a strategic blend of leg kicks, takedowns, and striking to control the pace and position of the fight. Despite Holobaugh's aggressive attempts to engage and his efforts to land significant strikes, Ogden's defense and counterattacks kept him at bay. Ogden consistently executed successful takedowns across all rounds, maintaining top control and applying pressure with ground and pound tactics. His attempt at a arm triangle choke and relentless hammer fists highlighted his dominance on the ground. Holobaugh's resilience was evident as he managed to recover and defend against Ogden's offensive onslaught, but was unable to turn the tide in his favor. Ogden's control was particularly evident in the final round, where he secured a perfect takedown and maintained a methodical assault from top position, culminating in a full mount that sealed his victory. Ogden's performance showcased his grappling ability and striking accuracy, marking a significant win in his career against the tough and experienced Holobaugh. I had calculated a 53% probability for Ogden to win and called it perfectly. The models actually had Holobaugh winning, but I went against the models, knowing Ogden would get it done. This fight is a great example of how I don't solely rely on statistics to make my picks. I combine both quantitative and qualitative information together to form well-rounded picks. In the next fight, we had Fernando Padilla versus Luis Pajuelo. From the start, Padilla established his striking superiority, delivering a mix of jabs, low kicks, and particularly effective front kicks to the chin that highlighted his range and power. Pajuelo, who was making his UFC debut, attempted to apply pressure and land strikes, but found himself outmatched by Padilla's precision and timing. A critical moment came when Padilla countered Pajuelo's aggression with a powerful left hand, knocking Pajuelo down, which set the stage for the fight-ending sequence. On the ground, Padilla quickly transitioned to dominant position, unleashing a barrage of hammer fists and elbows that forced Pajuelo to attempt a recovery. However, Padilla expertly secured a Bravo choke as Pajuelo tried to stand, leaving Pajuelo no choice but to tap out. He had his one-piece Luffy hat and did a little dance. I'm honestly glad he got the win here. I had calculated a 57% probability for Padilla to win, and he truly put on a spectacular performance. Padilla is very talented and has a versatile skill set. I'm sure he will continue to rise in this division and very quickly as well. In the next fight, we had Billy Quarantillo versus Youssef Zalal. From the onset, Zalal displayed his kickboxing skills, effectively utilizing leg kicks and managing distance to control the pace of the fight. Despite Quarantillo's aggressive approach, Zalal's movement and precision striking allowed him to evade significant damage and counter effectively. The first round saw Zalal landing significant strikes and executing a well-timed trip, showcasing his ground control and nearly securing a rear naked choke. In the second round, Zalal continued his dominance, quickly bringing the fight to the ground again and locking in a rear naked choke, forcing Quarantillo to tap out. This victory not only marks Zalal's successful return, but also ended his streak of fights going the distance, underscoring his potential in the featherweight division. I had calculated a 61% probability for Quarantillo to win, but unfortunately, the way Zalal refined his skill set in Sparta completely overwhelmed him. I also think Billy had an injury, I think it was his left arm, which may have impacted his performance, but not making excuses here. Regardless, Zalal got the W and made a statement in his return. In the next fight, we have Saaiman versus Payton Talbott. The fight started with intense action as both fighters exchanged strikes, with Talbott demonstrating superior striking power and technique. Saaiman's attempts to retaliate with leg kicks and body shots were overshadowed by Talbott's aggressive approach, landing significant punches and a step-in knee that notably hurt Saaiman. Despite Saaiman's resilience, Talbott's onslaught continued, culminating in a short but powerful left hook in the second round that sent Saaiman to the canvas. Talbott capitalized on this advantage, delivering a barrage of punches and hammer fists that prompted the referee, Chris Tognani, to stop the fight. Talbott's victory was not only showcased in his striking ability, but also marked Saaiman's first finish in his professional career, underscoring Talbott's potential as a rising star in the UFC bantamweight division. I had calculated a 53% probability for Talbott to win, and he looked great tonight. He has a bright future ahead of him. In the next fight, we had AJ Dobson versus Edmen Shahbazyan. The fight began with both competitors eagerly exchanging strikes, with Shahbazyan utilizing low kicks and Dobson responding with rapid punch combinations. Throughout the round, Dobson appeared as the more aggressive fighter, frequently engaging Shahbazyan with powerful strikes and attempting to control the pace of the fight. However, Shahbazyan displayed resilience and strategic thinking, managing to land a critical takedown and subsequently regaining control during the clinch. The turning point came when Shahbazyan unleashed a vicious left hand that sent Dobson to the mat, followed by a relentless assault of punches and elbows that rendered Dobson unconscious. Referee Mark Smith stepped in to halt the fight, awarding Shahbazyan a knockout victory. This win not only halted Shahbazyan's recent struggles in the UFC, but also marked the first time Dobson has been finished as a professional, showcasing Shahbazyan's power and precision in his striking. I had calculated a 63% probability for Shahbazyan to win, and he absolutely nailed it. In the next fight, we had our co-main event, Justin Tafa versus Carl Williams. The match was characterized by Williams' control and strategic takedowns, showcasing his grappling superiority over Tafa. From the onset, both fighters exchanged heavy strikes, but Williams demonstrated his ability to absorb Tafa's powerful kicks and punches, responding with effective grappling and ground control. Throughout the fight, Williams executed several successful takedowns, maintaining top position and delivering ground and pound, which significantly influenced the judges' scorecards. Despite Tafa's attempts to leverage his striking power, Williams' consistent control and takedown execution across all three rounds dictated the pace of the fight. Tafa showed moments of potential with his striking, but was unable to counter Williams' grappling strategy effectively. The fight concluded with Williams helping a visibly disappointed Tafa to his feet, symbolizing Williams' dominance and sportsmanship. This victory for Williams underlines his growing presence in the heavyweight division, while Tafa faces a tough challenge of rebounding from this defeat. I had calculated a 71% probability for Williams to win, and he did not disappoint tonight. At one point, he even lifted Tafa up and swung him around as if he's only 150 pounds or something. He actually called out Stipe Miocic, but it was not for a fight, of course. It was actually for a cook-off competition. In the next fight, we had our main event, Amanda Ribas versus Rose Namajunas. The fight showcased a high level of skill and resilience from both former strawweights, with Namajunas leveraging her striking accuracy and tactical superiority to outmaneuver Ribas throughout most of the fight. Despite Ribas' spirited efforts and impressive moments, including a notable comeback in the third round where she managed to control Namajunas on the ground, Namajunas' effective striking and control in the earlier and later rounds solidified her lead on the scorecards. Ribas demonstrated her toughness and versatility, engaging Namajunas with a mix of spinning attacks and takedown attempts. However, Namajunas' ability to counter Ribas' aggressive approach, combined with her effective ground and pound and defensive grappling, allowed her to maintain the upper hand in this fight. This victory marks a significant moment for Namajunas, indicating her successful move up in weight class and potentially setting her up for a high-profile matchup in the flyweight division. The fight concluded with both fighters exchanging strikes until the final bell, underscoring their determination and skill in a very closely contested matchup. I had calculated a 52% probability for Namajunas to win, and that prediction was justified by that fight. Namajunas got the job done. And that was it. We ended the night 10 of 13 fights, which is a 77% accuracy. As I wrap up my recap of UFC Fight Night Ribas vs. Namajunas, I hope you found the breakdown of each fight informative and engaging. Please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this in the future. Your support keeps me motivated to continue bringing you guys the latest updates and analysis from the world of MMA. Until next time, stay tuned for more action-packed reviews and analysis. Thank you all for watching, and see you guys in the next video.